contemporary stories. But allied to that, we want to foster some new writing, and we're kind of combining the two of those in the production we're doing for Shout. I was aware of the first play that is the first half of the double bill. I came across it about a year ago working on another project, and it stuck in my mind as being a really interesting piece of theatre. It's very much of its time. It was written and first performed in 1975 in London with a very young Anthony Sher in the original cast.
I'm playing Lawrence in Thinking Straight, which was the part originally played by Anthony Sher, the irony of which is just delicious. Lawrence is the writer of the play. He's a writer, and what you see in the play is him in a discourse with two aspects of his personality, who are represented by the other two actors in the play.
The attitudes expressed in it about being gay and fighting for liberation and what the kind of lifestyle involves are so dated in comparison to the kind of issues that surround the LGBTQ community nowadays. I thought it'd be interesting to stage it now and get a contemporary audience's reaction to it.
It's very easy to look at a play that was set only 8 years after the decriminalisation of homosexuality and view it with the eyes of 40 years later and see the character in those terms. Go back to 1974, 5, 6 and you would have a very different response to Lawrence and a very different response to his attitudes and his ideas and his responses to things.
Out of that grew the idea to commission from this guy a second play that we could perform on the same evening, based on interviews that we've conducted between us with members of the community, to explore similar sorts of issues, but how they're affecting people now.
We were very privileged to have some really strong messages in those, and quite varied stories and messages as well. So I don't think it will be an easy ride for anyone. Some people will come and maybe take issue with particular things that the characters say about that topic, but also I think we provide a balance, I think, between those views. So I think that's been quite enlightening, I think.
And I feel the opinions expressed and what the central character in there is asking for from life and from society's acceptance is a very different approach to leading the gay lifestyle to what we today feel people are asking for in the light of, the increased discussion about legalising gay marriage as a big example, which is then a topic which is picked up in the second play.
Yeah.
So I think, as Jonathan said earlier, it's together it will challenge people.
It is all too easy to lose sight of change when you're part of that change. So we tend to look around us now and not really appreciate just how different things are, just how much has changed in our lifetimes.
I think at my sort of stage in life, it's very easy to look at people today and think, oh, it's so much easier to come out and get acceptance than it was 20, 25 years ago. But that's not necessarily always the case, and there are sections of the community that we've managed to get in touch with for whom it's still a huge, huge issue, even today, and it's important to recognise that.
I did a shoot a couple of years ago where one of the cast had to get naked, quite a young guy, very good actor, very good looking guy, but really bothered about it, really nervous, really worried. If you're much younger, it matters more, you care more, you have more body consciousness. Robert's proposal was that we should have an all-naked rehearsal at some point, which I think is a great idea. That'd be marvellous, Robert, we should do that. as with any aspect of it, it's not you doing it, it's the character doing it. That's what you hide behind. So if the character has to get undressed and have a shower, then the character gets undressed and has a shower.
It's not straightforward, it's not simple. We found stories which don't necessarily look at just the coming out either. It's not just coming out stories, it's what happens after, and the variation of those stories about how people cope with that, what happens after that, and even sort of strange, quirky things of actually how they came out and what that process was. I think there seems to be a lot more of sort of an aftermath.
Yes, a lot featured that coming out moment that was very sudden when they decided to take that step. But so many of the people we spoke to wanted to talk about the implications and how that one decision and that one moment has sent their lives off in completely different directions. Not just for them personally, but often their families and their friends as well. So the lasting sense of that sudden moment in people's lives is what Jonathan's play is about, and it's